Hello, 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 beautiful people. I am really excited to be back with you. This is Leah Murphy. I am the president and CEO of Career Gems for the Journey. This has been an amazing kickoff to 2024, and we are here streaming live to LinkedIn as well as to YouTube. And we tested out some new technology last week. You guys remember that? It didn't go the way I wanted it to. So now here we are in a new week with a new opportunity to try something new. Um, our good auntie Tabitha Brown is doing a try something new challenge, and we are trying to make sure that the audio and visual experience that you guys are having here on the live stream is amazing. So if you're joining me live, I would appreciate it if you could just drop a comment in the chat. Just let me know, okay. Hit me with an okay or hit me with a K. You know what I mean? What you don't want to hear in text message after you've text 9 lines of text, and somebody responds with a K. It's like, really? I did all that for you to respond with K? But that's what I want this time because we have some new audio and visual features, and I just want to make sure that everything is doing what it's supposed to do, doing what it intended to do. So it looks like Crystal is here from Philadelphia. Welcome, Crystal. Really excited. Everybody else who is joining us live, please do drop your city in the chat. I'm assuming that if Crystal hears me, that everybody can hear me, and that is all I could ask for today. So thank you so much for everybody who's joining us live, and if you are listening on the replay, I love that for you. I love it for me too. It's a win every way you shape it. So really excited to be back with you all. And listen, 2024 has started off. We're all here, right? We know what's happening. We see what's happening on our social media feeds, on the news. Things are thinning, right? The world is doing what the world intends it to do. So I am here just to continue to make sure that I get the opportunity and the pleasure to be able to show up for all the members of the Career Gems for the Journey community. And you guys have been back channeling me and DMing me, talking about some of the content that I was able to introduce. So I'm going to get a couple of housekeeping things out of the way, and then we're going to jump into today's topic, which is brand spanking new. So if you're a first-time joiner for us, welcome. And for those of you who've been riding with me for a while, it is a pleasure to have you here, and I'm always excited to be back with you. So the first thing that I wanted to make sure that I talked about was the anthology that I participated in. So if you're following me on LinkedIn or in any of the social media channels, you'll know that I signed up to be a part of an anthology of really talented, wonderful authors who are members of the global majority. And those people are definitely just out of this world. Super excited, amazing. I'm just excited to be in a class among them. The title of the anthology is Triumph in the Trenches. It's an anthology of Black professionals in the workplace. And that idea, that brainchild, was designed by Elizabeth Leiba and Ilona Washington. And those beautiful, talented women have decided to pull a group of us, about 20 plus of us, together in order to participate in this anthology. And it's a book, right? The anthology is actually a hard copy book. It's a book that's going to be available beginning in February. I'm going to drop the link in the next LinkedIn Live for the pre-sale, and you'll be able to grab a copy of it before it is available for anyone else. And that is going to be exclusive to the folks who are joining me on my live or watching my replays. I'm going to incorporate that link for the pre-sale. And when she dropped it, when Ilona sent us the note to say the pre-sale is available, I was like, okay, hold on to the desk. This is real. It's really happening. It's really exciting. I'm thrilled for it. You'll be able to grab it directly from my website at gemsforthejourney.org. You'll be able to make the purchase. And then when the book actually goes to print and it gets published, you'll get it delivered directly to your door. So really, really excited about that. And then last week, for those of you who had an opportunity to participate, I did go live. It was a little bit spontaneous because I did a collaboration with the talented, the dynamic Nicole D. Vick. And when I tell you that the collaboration with Nicole D. Vick, she was going live on LinkedIn. I was on her platform. She has an amazingly produced show. She is one of my fellow anthologists. That collaboration felt like family. It felt like just what it needed to be immediately. If you have not had a chance to watch that, you can also see that replay in my lives. And we use some of that work to cut into our podcast, the Career Gems for the Journey podcast. So go and get you some of that too. right? Career Gems for the Journey podcast is available. The newest episode launched, and my assistant and I have been in the background all January just to keep up pace. So shout out to my assistant, Kara, who is keeping all of these things happening in the background. And if you want to be able to get that early access, I definitely want you to join our newsletter. So for those of you who are watching this live, you'll be able to see it on the screen, gemsforthejourney.org/promo gems. You can join our newsletter, and then you'll get not only exclusive insights from directly from me and from other career experts, you'll also get the benefit of early updates on the anthology and any other project that's happening in the background. There's other exclusive parts of the newsletter. It includes some things that are specifically for that community, and I don't even want to talk about them on air because I want you to join that newsletter list in order to get that. That community is rich, it's dynamic. I want you to be a part of it. So please take advantage. You will see the link on the screen to be able to participate. It'll also be in the show notes after this recording. So housekeeping out of the way, I'm really excited to be back. And the reason why I wanted to make sure that I talked about this today was kind of part of the collaboration with the talented Nicole D. Vick. If you want to find her on LinkedIn, make sure you incorporate that D. And I understand because Leah C. Murphy is absolutely necessary. There may be 100,000 of us in the social media street, so we want to make sure we get to the right person. So what we talked about on that episode and our time together, we talked a little bit about salary negotiation. We also talked about kind of just some of the stories that are coming out that we are navigating just in the first 4 weeks of the, not even 4 weeks, the first 2 weeks of the year. So go back and take an opportunity to listen to that. But in that direct collaboration, something came to mind, and I actually titled the podcast episode, "You Are Not Your Job." And I wanted to just go a little bit deeper into it because we were really only able to scratch the surface. And I got a couple messages from people that said, like, go into this more, or I see what you're saying. Thank you so much. Continue to make sure that you're saying this. And I was thinking, okay, I thought it was something I would like to discuss more. And once I hear that you guys are into it, I just want to make sure that I go as deep as possible. So we're only going to be on live for about 20 minutes here. So I'm going to get right into it. When I say you are not your job, I've been seeing so many examples out on our social media as well as in news of people having very scary experiences at work. Scary, mistreatment, discriminatory, just all of the things all of the worst parts about working in corporate America, academia, nonprofit spaces, federal government. There's just so many stories of especially Black women not having the experiences that they deserve, that they've earned in these spaces. And the reason why I wanted to make sure I brought up "You Are Not Your Job" is because I can certainly speak from my own experience. It is easy to get connected and to get caught up in the identity that is your title, that is the company you work for, that is your current compensation. And the reason why I say you are not your job is because all of those things are temporary. They're fleeting. Who you work for is temporary. What your title is in the organization, temporary. How much money you make in that organization, also temporary. All these things are changing. All these things have the potential to be able to evolve. So when I say you are not your job, I want to make sure that folks are thinking about taking care of their overall well-being, bringing relationships to their lives that are more important than their work, so that you have this benefit of balance. And those relationships can be any kind of relationship. They can be romantic, they can be platonic, they can be communal, all of those things. But those are the elements that help to make our lives rich. And when our lives are rich, we have a better experience at work. And we also are less impacted when work is not going well. So I get to work with a lot of talented professionals who are doing amazing things in corporate America and nonprofit and academia. In that time working with them, I also see times where in every career there are lulls, there are valleys, there are changes, there are shifts that happen. So when I'm encouraging folks to think about themselves as you are not your job, you are a person, you're an individual, you're a human being, you're built on values, you're built on community, you're built on self-love, you're built on all of the other elements that are in addition to your job, right? I want you to have a career that thrives. I want you to feel good about that. That's the work that I do. But the most important element that I've been able to bring in coaching other people on their careers and bringing this from my own experience is having a well-balanced, dynamic life outside of work, because there will be a valley in your career. There will be a time where you don't get the promotion you wanted. There will be a time where you don't get the pay raise you're looking for. There will be a time when you work for someone who doesn't value what you bring to the table. There will be a time when you work for someone who's just toxic, unnecessarily competitive. There will be a time where the company is not performing well, and that will affect your compensation and your ability to get promoted. There will be a time. So careers that thrive are careers that can navigate those laws, and individuals who can still navigate their own identity when the laws happen. I mean, companies are closing, companies are laying people off en masse. Corporations are going to do what's in the best interest of corporations. So knowing that they're going to do what's in the best interest of corporations, I'm trying to really encourage folks to do what's in the best interest of you as an individual. And that is to have a holistic, balanced life that is robust outside of work, so that when the company does what they're going to do, you already are in a position to continue to live the life that you've already built outside of work. And it brings me up to this quote, and I need you guys to support me in this, because the Thunda Brown Duckett, who's the president and CEO at TIAA, the Thunda Brown Duckett, she is a powerhouse. Like, she's one of the few Black women CEOs in a major organization. And I just find her to be very inspiring. So if you're watching this live, feel free to tag her. She's on LinkedIn. Feel free to tag her. I would love to meet her in person. I would love to have an opportunity just to experience a conversation with her. She has done so much amazing press. She's speaking at graduation. She's doing commencement speeches. She's all that. She's fired. So the reason why I'm bringing her up is because she did an entire speech when she did a commencement speech, and then morphed that into a LinkedIn article where she says, your titles are borrowed. Your character is what you own. Your titles are borrowed. Your character is what you own. So she talks about this, and she uses this very poignant example. And I just want to quote her words. I want to first amplify and acknowledge that she's amazing, but I also want, in the context of what we're talking about today, which is these things are temporary. You are not your job. When your job changes, that does not mean that you change. That means that the job, the way that you provide for yourself, changes. So she talks about the simplest definition of renting is when someone is made available, or something is made available for you to use in return for payment. There's usually an agreement that makes the terms clear, thinking that when you're renting, it's not yours forever. So I thought that quote really helped me to encapsulate our titles are not ours forever. Our positions in companies are just not ours forever. The things that you create, the things that you build, the things that you develop, the relationship, the connections, the character, those are the things that are yours. Those are not rented. But everything that an organization provides for you is fragile, and it can change. And we've seen it happen too many times in the instance of academia specifically, is what's screaming the loudest right now. But we've also seen it in other industries. And I want to make sure that I am speaking directly to you. You are not your job. You have so much else to offer the world. You have so much else to offer your community. You have so much more to offer those that care about you, those that love you. And when we get our ego, and I'm specifically speaking about my own experience, when our ego has been wrapped up in the title that we're pursuing, maybe the compensation that we're looking for, when our ego gets connected to that, it can then become a part of our identity. And then as it's a part of our identity, then we begin to ride the waves of the company as though it is ours, as though of our employer's experience and everything that's happening in the workplace has to come home with us. It affects our overall well-being. We begin to bring that stress home. It impacts our health. So when I really try to think about things, I would love to catch people early in their career. And it seems like, listen, Gen Alpha, And those generations that look like they're following have been tremendously focused on quality of life first. And for a lot of us in previous generations, millennial, Gen X, lots, all the way up to boomers, we've been conditioned kind of opposite, where the company needs us and they are a part of us. We've even, a lot of times companies will say, we're a family, we're a community, we're a community. Your family doesn't fire you. Your family doesn't give you a bad performance review in order to justify someone else getting a good one. Your family doesn't pay you to come to work every day. So I really want to keep the lines drawn in a healthy way to create boundaries for folks, because I find that without those boundaries, without that clear identity shift, we can get tied into what an organization is doing, and that can affect our own perception of ourselves. And when it starts to affect our perception of ourselves and things don't go well, we can end up in a very dangerous, painful place. So you are not your job. Your title is borrowed. You can absolutely tag Cassandra Brown Duckett on this post, on this live, bring her in, shout her out, because she did such an excellent job just articulating these things are rented, they don't belong to us. So our takeaways for how we navigate being ambitious, being professionals that want to be at the top of the game, at the pinnacle of our industry, the ambition is important. I think the ambition has to be balanced with a clear identity. I am not my title. My title is rented, it's borrowed. So if somebody takes it away from me, I knew it was coming. If something has to change, whether I'm motivated to change it or whether the company is motivated to change it, it was rented. So I am not emotionally attached to that title, and I am not my job. So reminder that titles are temporary, and to nurture yourself and give yourself grace. Just like organizations are going to do what's in their best interest, the expectation always is for you to do what's in your best interest. Your manager is never going to tap you on the shoulder and say, stop working so hard. Stop giving so much. Stop solving all the problems before they come up. Your manager's just not going to do it. And fundamentally, as a career coach, I believe that well-being will drive performance and results in your organization. I believe that you appropriately taking care of yourself and having the right identity and perception will cause you to make good decisions for yourself that will then benefit your family, your community, your loved ones, and then also your job. So I like to really think about that renter anthology, that all those things are rented. And I am a property owner. I also have rental properties, rental units. And when I think about how people behave when they're in a rented space, you get in there, you make it comfortable for yourself, but you don't get too attached, right? You're not making improvements. You're not renovating a kitchen. You may add an island, something that you can take with you. You may put up some wallpaper, something that you can take down. You may paint something you can paint over. So when I think about people who do well in organizations, people create things that they can reuse. They acquire skills and competencies that they can then use as transferable skills to other organizations. They get developed, they learn certain skills and problem-solving capabilities. And as they do that, that makes them a better asset to the current company, but also prepares them for when the next organization presents something that could be a good fit for them. They're always ready to do great work where they are, and they're always ready to make a transition if that's a better opportunity for them. So when I think about that in that renter analogy, oftentimes in our careers, we take an owner's analogy to the organization, that we are committed to be a part of that organization for the period of time. And I really want to submit to you, you are not your job. Take a renter's mentality when it comes to your job and make sure that you are creating a strategy for yourself that allows you to thrive, that allows you to thrive inside of the current organization that you're in and inside of the next one, or the next one, or the next one. Or that organization that you're in now decides that it no longer sees the value in what you do, that you're prepared to make a transition. Because the market today and the data is already showing us that lots of things are going to continue to change. Lots of things have already changed, and we're going to continue to see that level of change. And this is not to make you scared. This is not to incite fear. This is to prepare us, right? This is to position us so that we can take advantage when change does approach, that we can ride that wave. So too often allowing us to have a renter's mentality in an organization that doesn't belong to us then also allows the management or leaders in that organization to have a direct impact on how we perceive ourselves, how we see ourselves as an asset to the company, how we see ourselves in our performance reviews. We talked a lot about performance reviews at the end of the year in December. Make sure you go ahead and take advantage and listen to that content, replay that on the live. The intention is these are all parts of a puzzle. As we talk about building a thriving career, navigating performance reviews, navigating your own identity, making sure that you're not connected and tied to your company and your identity is not built in your job. This is a piece of the puzzle so that you can thrive and then you can build a thriving career. So this is a hot take. I'm sure there are some people who work in organizations that have a perspective, and I would love to hear from them. If there are HR professionals who are watching this live or who are on the replay and they have some advice or they disagree, I would love to hear that perspective because I think it's important for us to have a conversation, to have a dialogue. I also know that I'm an independent third party, right? I don't work for any institution. My job is to provide career guidance and career coaching to those who I support on a one-on-one basis. And when I see what's happening, I want to make sure that I bring it to this community, the Career Gems for the Journey community, and those who are connected with me on LinkedIn Live and those who are following me on YouTube, because I'm noticing some things and some things just need to be said. And even if somebody disagrees, I'm prepared to have the debate and stand 10 toes down on this because I know for a fact that you are not your job. And the more robust you can be as an individual outside of the institution that you work for, the better you will perform. And the more you'll be able to ride the waves that come along with working for an organization that is trying to meet market demands. You are not your organization's first priority. You should be your own first priority. So shout out to everybody who was joining us live today, who was riding the wave with me. I couldn't read all the comments because I'm trying to navigate all the technology, but I see you. I appreciate you. I'm so excited you've been able to join us live. And if you are watching us on the replay, shout out to you on the replay. I love that for you. If you guys want to help me out and shout out or tag the Sunday Brown Ducket in this LinkedIn Live, maybe there's a possibility that she will respond. That would absolutely change my year for 2024. I would absolutely love to hear from her and be able to connect with her directly. So, I'm just putting it out there. It's like a vision board situation. I would like to meet and collaborate with or learn from the Sunday Brown Ducket, who is the president and CEO at TIAA. If it happens, I'll know that you all were a part of it. So it was awesome to be here with you. I will continue to be back here on Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Tuesday. So you guys are going to see me every Tuesday in January and directly into February and March. Like I said, the last time we were live, the whole Q1 is lined up. It's about to be dope. It's going to be amazing. So continue to join us live. I'm excited to be here with you, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for riding with me, and take some time for yourself today. Take some time to reflect. You are not your job, and knowing you are not your job, how will you show up for yourself? And how may you need to show up differently in your day job? That's your homework. All right, all. It was great to be with you here today. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time, Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.